scale of 1 to 10, how dateable am I right now?
Hi, my name is Jocelyn and welcome to the first episode of Self-Care with me. I'm so excited to finally start this series. I have a couple of things to say. Number one, I have normal to dry skin. For me, that means that my skin doesn't really have many problems. I don't break out often. If I do break out, it's very minimal. I don't have any concerns with like pores or excessive oil or anything like that. I guess in other words, you could say I'm blessed. But for me, my main concerns are making sure that I have a good amount of moisture throughout the day and that I don't feel like I'm parched and dying by noon. So hopefully this gives you some insight on like the way I'm looking at things. I hope that I'll be able to kind of cater to you like by using products that are for all skin types. But if you have any questions, if you don't have normal to dry skin, if you have like combination skin or oily skin or anything like that, just feel free to like, reach out, say, hey, what do you think about this? If you need help on whatever. Just, you get what I'm saying. Just let me know, I'll figure it out. If I don't have the answer, then I will definitely point you to somebody who does. Second thing, YouTube is not something that comes naturally to me. I actually had a blog that I ran for about 3 to 4 years called Cupcake Dictionary, and it was very easy for me to write down things that I was experiencing and put them on the internet for other people to read. I'm not used to like looking at a screen and talking, looking at a camera, obviously. Like, I'm not even looking at this thing and I may not ever look at it. I apologize for that. But it's something that I'm learning to do, and it's something that I'm learning to kind of like process through. And I really feel like this series is very important to me and also important to other people as we kind of go through different seasons of our life and just kind of like process whatever the heck is going on. I hope it goes well. I'm so excited to tell you literally everything that I would never tell anybody else ever. If you are interested in seeing me put white all over my face and talk about my feelings, then keep watching. We are going to be using this purifying tea tree witch hazel mud mask. This is something that I picked up from Target, and it is 0.5 ounces or 15 grams, and it is $1.99. I wanted to start off with products that are really like affordable for everybody, considering I also only have 20 bucks in my bank account right now. I already used this, as you can see from the open package, because I did film this like episode I guess already, but I didn't like it, and I didn't like how I didn't feel like my complete self in that, so I'm refilming it. But there was enough in there for like 2 mud masks, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use it again. So it's not a first impression, but it's still a review. I'm just gonna go through the claims. Tea tree and witch hazel have long been known for their antibacterial properties. Now we've infused extracts of both plants into our soft clay mask. The cleansing action of the mask naturally draws out impurities and eliminates excess oil, leaving your skin revived and wonderfully clear. So, like I said before, oil isn't necessarily a large concern for me, and I don't really have oil in general maybe, and so excess oil isn't like whatever. But when I did try this before, I liked the result, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and use it again. But basically it just claims to, draw out everything that you don't want. Draw out the haters. I'm gonna look crazy. I will look like a White Walker, but we're not gonna let it sway us. Yep. So as you guys may or may not have known from my last video, I did graduate from college this past May, and since then I feel like absolutely nothing has gone on in my life. That's not entirely true. Like, I launched my photography business, I'm working on my hella overdue spring summer edition of my magazine called Majesty, and I'm working on some other either overdue or just like new to me projects. But even so, I feel like absolutely nothing is going on in my life. Like, a lot of my friends are traveling to different places, different countries. People already have jobs, or people are already preparing for the next step in their life, and I feel like because I didn't take that traditional route, I'm kind of lagging behind and that I'm not doing something correctly. When I feel like I'm not going anywhere, I just like don't do anything at all. Like, I spend the whole day watching Netflix, and it's just not helping me. It doesn't make me feel like I'm doing anything substantial or important. And that's my hairline. I feel like now you're starting to understand what I mean by I'm gonna look crazy while I do this. Hey y'all. I'm supposed to leave this on for 15 minutes, so I'm gonna set my timer and just let it do its thing, and then afterwards I'll rinse it off with my fingers. I feel like it should be noted that I'm doing things with my life. It's just that because they're not happening at the same pace or like in the same way as those I'm surrounded with, it just feels like I'm completely stagnant. This kind of makes me feel like my time has passed and that I'm not ever going to go where I want to go. And just for some background on that, I did get my degree in music composition, so I am a professional composer. And I plan on going into the film industry and writing the music for movies. And so right now I'm applying to grad school for that, or I'm in the process of beginning to apply to grad school for that. But because composing is very entrepreneurial, in fact, it's entirely entrepreneurial, it's not necessarily something that I would get a 9-to-5 job in. So like the money I make and the way that I support myself is made from like a project to project basis. It's really scary. Like I chose to do this for the rest of my life. So after I graduated, everyone really told me, this is your time to relax, this is your time to relearn yourself, and the things that I feel like once made me lazy were now things that I was entitled to. So getting up at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, not doing anything, not leaving the house ever, not talking to anybody at home was something that really did work for a season. I think that like really taking time to take care of myself after working myself like crazy for 3 years in college was vital and necessary, but now I feel like that season of my life is over. I know what I'm hustling towards, I just don't know the route that I need to take to get there, and that's my biggest dilemma right now. So I found this text post when I was browsing Tumblr on a blog called Self-Healing, and it says the following: stop believing that you ran out of time to shape yourself into who you want to be. Stop believing that it's ruined. Stop believing that you don't have potential. You are not a fixed being. You have endless opportunities to grow. This is really helpful, and I feel like it's the reason why so many people are coming back to the things that they're passionate about after a major setback, after just not doing it for a while. I think that in this society, the way we live is very linear, and because we've made such a very strict order to how our lives are supposed to be lived, if anyone doesn't live like that, then there's something wrong. I feel like we have to go to college, complete all of our education, potentially get a master's, get a doctorate degree, but after college specifically, we have to go out into the workforce, get a job, start applying our degree in a way that will kind of reap us some benefits. And if it happens differently, or if people don't see that it's happening at all, they get very concerned and they assume the worst of you. But the thing is, I don't think our success should be determined by the exact route we take. Like, what if you take the access road overtaking I-35? You're still going to get to your destination. You're just not using the road that everybody else uses. And besides, it doesn't even matter because I-35 has a crazy amount of traffic anyway. So I'm 20 years old and there are so many things that I want to do and so many things that I have left to do. And I think the fact that they're running around in my head without a rest stop is what's stressing me out so much. I want to organize it in a way that comforts me and restores my confidence. I didn't lose anything, my timeline just saw some alterations. To be fair, to be completely fair, I feel like this is entirely in my head. Like, I tend to project other people's thoughts and opinions onto myself, and in the end, all it ever does is hurt me, so shout out to self-sabotage. So no one else may be thinking this about you or me, but since we are our biggest critics, it's enough to make us doubt, and it's enough to throw us off that course for a very long time. The thing about getting off course though is there are no rules that say we can't get back on. It may take a while, it may be painful, but the road is still there for us to take. I have like 3 or so minutes left with this mask on. I guess we just chill for the next few minutes. Why you always gotta be so mad? I got a lot to be mad about. That's definitely gonna be my screen cap. Is it thumbnail? Okay, I'm back now. I just rinsed off my face completely. I really like how this turned out. I think the results were just a little bit different because I did use more product this time around than I did the first time I used the clay mask, but I still like it. And my face doesn't feel like, hella moisturized like if I did a sheet mask, but it doesn't feel uncomfortable. and it doesn't feel like I have to put on anything after. I really like this. I think it's definitely something that I would continue using and buying, especially since it's only $1.99 at Target. Yay! First time! We did good, guys. We did great. I want to give everyone a brief summary of what we talked about for today. I think the most important thing about taking any sort of journey is that the person who is always going to be with you in that journey is yourself. Not the journey between you and your family members or you and 600 other people. It's the journey between you, and if you are a religious person as I am, it's a journey between me and God, or you and whoever you personally serve. So I'm going to keep that in mind as I go forward in my life and as I go forward on this journey to figuring out my next step and how I'm going to move towards my ultimate goal. My life may not actually be falling apart. Maybe it's just falling into place in a different way. Maybe I'm just falling. Maybe I've already landed. Who knows? So that's all I have for today for this episode of Self-Care with Me. I hope you really enjoyed it. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification button so you don't miss anything in the future. And until next week's episode, stay hydrated. This video is 25 minutes long. I have to edit.